or something like.
Welcome to Startalk with your hosts, Colin and Marty.
Hey, welcome to Star Talk, and we're excited to have you here today. Um, right out of the gate, I don't know how many shows we've done, Marty, but it's is this our third show this year?
This is our fourth show, and it's a total of 23 season 1, season 2, episode 4, total 27.
Well, welcome to. We've got some people showing up in the chat. We have some people in YouTube. As a matter of fact, my mom is watching tonight. I think I just went for dinner with my mom, which I haven't seen her for a week or so, and she asked me to explain to her what NFTs were. If you want to be frustrated, try explaining what an NFT is to your 84-year-old mother. Sorry, Mom, but I think she got it. I think it's pretty cool. Welcome, Megan. Nice to see you again. And we've got some people joining us. So it was fun. I kind of winged it a little bit. I sort of said, well, it's kind of like a very cool collectible. I said, Mom, if you think about a Gretzky rookie card,
Oh, wow.
and what kind of value that has today, think of an NFT as a digital version of that with some
Serious money.
cryptocurrency baked into it. So it was a hard conversation to sort of navigate, but it gave me cause to sit back and go, you know what? I need to do a better job of explaining what NFTs are, especially with the goats coming out. And I know Garnet does a really good job explaining it at the end of the show. But for me, myself, I need to get some NFT chops. So welcome to Star Talk Live. If you're out there on YouTube, we welcome your comments. Those people that are in the StreamYard chat, big shout out to some of you folks and the bees. We've been having a lot of fun on the Twitter Spaces at nighttime, talking about all kinds of things and music and entertainment and Web3 and technology. And it's been a lot of fun. So you changed your backdrop a little bit, Martino.
Yeah, again, I'm always taking and looking after what you're doing in the background with your photos and everything. But I figured I'll do mine collectibles and just an old sign. And
what's the red vinyl up there? Is that the Shaking All Over?
It's Disco Express TV records, a cheapie to make the sign, vinyl records, 3345 78. So I put that up, and there's a couple other things. I'm making room so that I can access. I want to be one of those kind of guys that can swivel around and grab the stuff as well as post it online, you know.
And the M&M, what's the significance of that?
Oh, the M&M, I collect M&Ms, but
why would anybody collect M&Ms?
No, not candies, scale stuff. It's very collectible. But you'll notice one thing. This is different. This is only an M.
Oh.
So M is for Martino.
Oh, there you go. Okay, now it all comes together. I would have never thought of that.
Come together. I put this here, made that, and I got a hanger. I can hang it. But I decided to just put it in the background. And then I got a couple of dogs. You know, I got a couple of dogs that I thought you'd like. I think our fans will like them too. I didn't send a slide on these, but I'll bring them up and you'll
a couple of nippers.
Yeah. And they happen to be salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Well, Nipper was the RCA dog, right?
That's right. Right. So beautiful. Then I was fooling around looking for real easy stuff. I sent Garnet a bunch of stuff, and we're still working on how to, transition in. And like you and I, we can improvise. My focus this time is going to be on shirts as well as patches and stuff like that. So this patch happens to be a sew-on from the very, very early days with the Canadian flag and the beaver.
Wasn't the beaver's name Billy or something?
No, we're going to have a little contest. You're close
Okay.
to no cigar, my friend. Make way. We'll let you in for a child's ticket later. Anyways, here we are. The Guess Who and your buddy Billy, wrong, on the back. So that was a double-sided. The chap that did these is similar to our good friend, Paul Archer, but his name was Bob Boyson.
Bob Boyson
passed away. Prior to his passing, he went on from doing patches and logos for the Guess Who and other bands, and he ended up getting hired by Sony to do their very first their very first posters for the Walkman.
Oh.
And Burton was a very, very good friend of Boyson's, and we used to go there every time we came to Winnipeg and played. We'd go over there, have dinner, met his wife a number of times, kids, hung out with all of them. They made us feel very welcome. Anyways, the long and the short is that Boyson ends up doing these things. Now, Cummings, we're on tour. We're doing 7 sold-out nights at Hamilton Place. So, Canadian, we're down the street at the Connaught, this and that. Cummings says to me one day, he says, phone Boyson, see if you can put together a deal for some Walkmans. So I phoned Boyson. Boyson's got the direct patch into Sony because he's doing the art for them. He gives me a number. I phone the marketing guy. I tell him who I am. Good friends with Boyson. Gave me your number. I'm on tour with Burton Cummings, Canada's #1 vocalist, solo tour, and I need, pardon me, with his band, not solo. I need some Walkmans. So he says, how many do you need? I says, how many you got? He says, we're Sony. How many do you want?
Yeah, of course.
So I said, right. How about 10? Cover the road crew, yeah, sure. So he sends them, and at the end of the run, Burton gave them out. I still have mine. Blue and silver, the very first one. It plays as good now, Colin, as it did then, and that was the 80s.
Wow. So you got to have cassettes still. Did you keep all your cassettes? Of course you
did. All the Guess Who, all the BTO, every genre, 8 tracks, cassettes, reel-to-reel, everything like that. But I wanted to show our fans on the topic of vinyl again, some new arrivals, very rare. I looked long and hard for these. This one you'll like. This is called the Millennium Concert, 1999 at the Staples Center, the Eagles.
Wow.
That's a double.
Uh-oh.
That he wouldn't see that. He's come in with something else. Not to worry. Then our favorite with the old Capitol building, Steve Miller.
Yeah.
That's a greatest.
So these are new vinyls.
These are brand new vinyls. I'm getting into a brand new sealed vinyl mode.
Well, they're expensive now.
They're 30, 40, $50, but I got guys that I can get them for 18, 22.
Yeah.
So I'm in at that. It's a great buy-in. Here's a rare one. This is Ball and Chain, and this is a serious Who one.
Oh.
So I'm not the Guess Who, the Who, but I'm going to say
I still have my red vinyl Who record.
Oh yeah, very, very rare, very rare. Now I did find when I was in the attic today looking for something else. You'll remember this.
Wow.
That's the Police.
The Labatt stage.
The Thompson Twins opening, C. Fox presenting, and I found one even rarer that was done at the Kerrisdale Arena for Periscope in those days.
Jimmy Cliff and Peter Tosh.
Yeah, together.
I saw them at the Town Pump.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So there's a person in the chat's talking about why don't they make NFT albums out of the classic albums?
Yeah.
I was on a call with a guy from Los Angeles
Keep that there, Garnet. Keep
last
that
week. I was on a call with a record producer from LA last week, and they are producing vinyl records with an accompanying NFT. That's going to be their new
Wow.
package offering.
Right.
So it's coming, folks.
Yeah.
And so you guys out there are going to have to figure out how to explain it to your moms pretty soon.
Now, Garnet, can you back up one and get me the face of that shirt so I could the other way? No, not your email. This is fun. We're experimenting. Anyways, this one, Colin.
Yeah.
Back up, Garnet. He's going too fast. Okay, there. Stop. Oh, no. He's all over the place.
He's trigger happy.
He's very good. There's the first Guess Who shirt designed by Boyson.
Wow.
That's mine. I just found that in my attic. I put it there in 1990. I just found it today. Now, there's a rare shirt. That shirt is the Rolling Stones 1975 tour of the Americas. I wasn't on that tour. I got the first time I ever got a taste of the Stones was 1977 when I was the stage manager at the Winnipeg Arena and the Rolling Stones played. And I met them all, and I have a signed Polaroid shot by Mick Jagger.
Nice.
So that can move on. Now, this one is the North American Stones. That I was on. This can move ahead again. Garnet, one, please. And that one is the back. That's the back of that one.
So okay, the U.S. and Britain, North America tour.
Yeah. Move on. So these are some of the memorabilia. Now this one, do you have the face of this one, Garnet, first? There should be another one of this. There
Kingdom sold out.
No.
Yeah, that might be it.
Back it up one, please.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, open it. Okay, that's
a Kingdom, yeah.
That's the Kingdom Rolling Stones front of the shirt on the tour I did. Move it to the back now.
There's
Stop.
The back.
Pick her up. Now, bigger a little bit, please. You'll notice who the opening acts were. The Jay Giles Band and Greg Keane. That was the most unbelievable show. Gorf, our friend, Jerry and I brought him down there.
What was the big Greg Kinn song?
It
was called the breakup song.
The breakup song. That's right. That's right.
Our next guest will probably know the chords.
Yeah. Move some more, Garnet. Find something else of interest. Keep going. Stop. Back up. Colin will like this one.
Sound like a backseat driver, Marty. Back up. Stop.
You will like this one because this is Cummings, Troiano, Wallace, and Peterson.
Wow.
Put them side by side. They only made two versions, a white, and now switch over to the gray, please, Garnet, and then the gray. I have both. Those are unbelievably rare, and it's where they toured on the map. Every place they played is on the map. Okay, move that one out of there, please. The whole thing. You can lose that. Now, this is for our friend Jason Mills, a very, very rare shirt. He's into horror. He produces horror movies and that. That's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 t-shirt. That is a super, super rare t-shirt. The color is brilliant. I've never worn it. It's exactly as you see it. It's much more beautiful, real. Keep going, Gar, please. Okay, those we've seen. Back out of that.
Did those have the puff lettering on that?
On which? Not that. No.
Chainsaw?
Back up, Garnet, if you could, please. Back out of those posters and see if you can find the Leslie West one, please. Back it out. There should be mountain. There should be... No. Keep going. Go.
Well, he'll look. Maybe we'll come back to that
one. Anyways, I designed a lot. And speaking of puffed, you mentioned it. I did the shirts for Randy's tour. You were on it. And two of the biggest sellers in merchandise for us in the puff version was...
Now, you were one of the first guys to ever do that puff lettering.
Yeah, I was Puff Daddy, but I was Puff Marty.
Marty.
I was Puff Marty, not Puff Daddy. But anyways, the bottom line, the first one I did was 2,000 pounds of rock. That was Bachman Turner. And I had rocks. Rocks. And I puffed that up and I puffed the letters Bachman Turner, and underneath I had Overdrive, like Fallout, Stones laying at the bottom. And the next one, which was even a bigger seller than that call, was Half a Ton of Rock and Roll.
Wow, you need a sledgehammer for that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Good fade into the song. I love it. Good intro for the song Sledgehammer. But anyways, merchandising is integral to any business, and collectability, just like you mentioned, the NFTs and the Goats forthcoming, anything, whether it's caps, whether it's photos, signed guitars, all of which you have many and I have many, and you and I were discussing today your shirts, and I was discussing some of my shirts, and it's very, very collectible.
Oh, some of the stuff I pulled out of my storage bin. I haven't brought it over here yet.
No, you will.
But I'm finding all of these things. I'm running. I don't have enough walls.
No,
so I got a box over there full of framed things and memorabilia, mostly important to me.
Of course.
But hey, Tim, welcome. Tim's in the chat.
Hey, Tim, how you doing, brother?
He's going. Let's go Goats. Yep.
Yeah. When it
the
comes,
greatest of all time.
You got it. When it comes to shirts, Colin.
Yeah.
Advice from old friend Martino: get a clothing rack. Home, put it in your studio. Hang all your jacket and all your shirts on a clothing rack. Zero finer. Everything can be on display. You can pull them out at a moment's notice and wear them or show them. That's what I do.
Hey, big shout out to Will and Ray. Hey,
Ray.
A lot of buzz going on out there. I've been shout out to the bees. I've been on a few of those Twitter spaces and having some fun talking tech, talking all kinds of things.
Really? That's cool.
And it's a lot of fun, and really surprised on how kind everybody is and how helpful. It's really cool. Just for Tim and Ray and Will that have just joined, I was telling Marty earlier, I had dinner with my mom tonight. She's 80, in her 80s, and trying to explain to her what an NFT is. So I'm not very good at that. I'm going to have to take some lessons from you guys and from the Bees Social and from Garnet to figure out how I can put that into a nice little explanation. So let's we got a great guest on, and I think it's definitely a party line. Anytime you guys are in the room, it's a lot of fun. Right. Except when we're here with Marty. And once again, thanks for joining us tonight. And it's my pleasure to have a really good friend on the show.
Oh yeah.
And hey, Grant's a guy that always wins stuff.
Yeah, he's a winner. Grant's one of those winners.
And Joshua, welcome back. It's good to see you guys joining. And it's my pleasure to have a really good friend of mine on. He's a friend of Marty's too. We've toured together. We've played music together. I actually had the pleasure of doing some artwork for some of his albums, and I think we'll just bring him on. Let's bring Brent onto the show tonight.
Hey, where is that guy? There he is.
Hey. How are you guys?
We're tremendous. How are you?
We're better than better. And it's great to have you on. And I don't know where to start because we've known each other a long time, but I'll tell the people that are watching the show, whether you're on YouTube or in the chat, Brent is a masterful singer, guitar player, bass player, singer, songwriter. The list goes on. And he's had a lot of great experiences. So we want to pick his brain a little bit tonight and find out some stories. What we do here, Brent, is a lot of the people that watch this show, both live and after the fact, they love to hear kind of what goes on behind the scenes, stories behind the songs and the adventures and the tours. And why don't you give the guys out there just sort of an overview background of your life, and we'll take it from there.
Oh, where do I start on that one? Well, just I've known Colin now. I think the first time I saw you were in a band called the Meteors.
Yeah.
Like at 86th Street.
Yeah.
And great band. And I thought, man, this guy's got talent. And then Marty, he was like this mythical figure. It was like the Wizard of Oz. I'd heard all about him and hadn't met the guy. And when I finally met him, I was about to get on a plane with Marty, and some people, I said, what's he like? I've never talked to him. I said, oh, you'll see. And I got on. He thoroughly entertained me, and it's been an absolute pleasure ever since.
True enough.
But as far as like behind the scenes, well, I started off when I was very young in country, and I was just enthralled by all the old country guys, Johnny Cash and Buck Owens, Merle Haggard. And then I kind of strayed into the dark side and started getting into rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
And I slipped back and forth. And I still now I just like everything, you know. And but I think you're right about the behind the scenes is often more entertaining than the actual finished product, if you know what I mean. People say, "Oh, I saw that band. They were really good. You should have seen them backstage."
That's a good one.
No, if I could go back and change anything, I wouldn't change a thing. It's just been a great ride, and met some of the most interesting, great people I could ever hope for. And
let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about some of the greats. We're talking about the greatest of all time and the goats.
Yeah.
Who's somebody that really sticks out in your memory that you can think about? And I know I don't want to put you on the spot, but that's kind of the beauty of the show is we kind of wing it a little bit and we like to go off the cuff. But what were some of the cool people that made an impression on you?
Well, as I said, starting off when I was, I guess, 10, my parents let me go see my hero all by myself. I took a bus. It was like an hour bus ride to downtown Vancouver, the Coliseum. I was the first one in the building. Watched the stage crew set up the stage for Johnny Cash. I was the only one in the building.
Wow.
And I sat there, and then the house lights went down, and out comes the Tennessee Three, which was his band.
Right.
They played, and then they said, "Please welcome Mr. Carl Perkins." He came on. I go, "Oh my God, this guy wrote Blue Suede Shoes." And then he says, "Please welcome the Statler Brothers." They came on. They did their Flowers on the Wall. Oh. And it just kept building and building. And I'm like 10. I'm sitting there by myself, just like shaking. I'm vibrating. And then they say, would you please welcome the Carter family? So it comes June Carter and her family. And it sounded phenomenal. Then this dead silence and everything went pitch black and just a light from behind the stage and this shadow, the silhouette. Hear this. "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash." Wow. And I thought I was going to explode. And the man told these stories. You couldn't take your eyes off him, you know. I almost met him because I was in Nashville and I met one of his neighbors, Jim Varney. He said, "I'll introduce you to Johnny. Come on by tomorrow." And he decided to do something else.
Is that the comedian Jim Varney?
Yeah, he did those, you know, the Slam Dunk Ernest and
Ernest, that's
Scared
right,
Stupid. Yeah. Anyway, real nice guy. He says, "Next time down," he goes, "I'll take you over to Johnny's place." I thought, "Oh, I can't wait." Then I heard on the radio that Jim Varney died.
Oh,
so that ended that.
That link.
But and then as far as the goats, I was talking with Marty before he showed up, calling about that guitar right there. That's Brian May guitar. I had the pleasure of, he's my hero growing up on guitar. Brian May from Queen.
Yeah,
that's me and him right there. We had dinner together. Then he signed the front of this guitar and the back, which he never does apparently. And he was just such a gentleman, and I was just thrilled. Like I walked in with Randy into his dressing room, and he bowed to us. Like this is rock and roll royalty.
Right.
You talk about goats. Like to me, he's a big goat. He's a massive goat. Yeah.
Well, where that blue light is, right directly behind me, that's my signed Jerry Lee Lewis album, because Jerry Lee Lewis doesn't sign autographs, and I just happened to. It was a shout out to Fife Williamson, who got me backstage by myself with Jerry Lee Lewis when he was having a cigar, and got that signed. So yeah, I know the feeling. It's kind of cool when you meet one of your heroes and you get to visit with them a little bit and get an autograph, and
they're nice.
They're actually nice.
I know. That was my biggest fear, that he wouldn't be nice, and that I got to do a movie with Will Ferrell again.
Yeah, we saw it.
So funny, such a funny guy. I'm waiting on stage, and he walks on. I go, "Oh my God, there's Will Ferrell." I hope he's not a jerk.
Yeah.
He walked right up and says, "Hi, I'm Will. We're going to have fun doing a show together." Eh?
Very cool.
Like, oh, wow. You know, most of those really great guys, they're good people. You know, very few I've met that were even standoffish. You know, but it's anyway. That's enough for me.
Now you got influenced early by country, and you actually, in later years, you put out some country records. You actually had some Canadian hits.
Yeah. I had quite a few songs on the chart there with country, and I did that for about 4 or 5 years, and then certain things started creeping into the business, which I wasn't too fond of. So I bowed out. I just thought, that's enough. I had enough. But yeah, and Colin did some incredibly good artwork on all 3 of those albums. And yeah, I think there's about 12 songs that were on the charts, I guess.
Now, you released that under the name Brent Howard.
Brent Howard, yeah.
Yeah.
And did 3 CMT videos. One which CMT hauled me out to Niagara Falls to do a video called The Wrangler. They funded the whole thing, which was nice.
Yeah.
And the very first CD, I'm not sure, Colin, if you remember, there's a song called "What Isn't Mine." Remember that song?
I remember that.
That was the first single, and I got the CMT reports for they report spins for the year.
Yeah.
And in the quarter that was out, it was on heavy rotation. Here, like, I was this nobody coming out of nowhere, and I remember seeing the chart. Number 1 was a guy named Brian White. Number 2 was me, believe it or not, and number 3 was this girl. I don't know, just a nobody, Shania Twain. She was number 3.
Nobody.
And then she somehow soared right past me.
Oh, well,
Well, you were better looking.
Yeah. I look better in jeans, right?
Yeah. I have some Shania stories too, but I'll save that for another show, or maybe for backstage later.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. So after the country thing, and sometimes on this show, we talk about some of the pitfalls of the music business and some of the reasons people drop off. One of the priorities of our project, which is Starwire, which we have some people that are part of it here. Starwire was developed specifically to help creative people, individuals, artists, entertainers, movie producers to bake their intellectual property directly into their digital assets. And Garnet will talk a little bit about that. But it was the catalyst for that was really guys not getting paid their royalties, kind of the middlemen in the industry, making it difficult for even the labels and distributors and the artists. A lot of things that were not right. And so we thought that the blockchain and technology could help at least level the playing field for the artist a little bit. So if there's any kind of stories like that that you remember from either listening, hearing, or experiencing without, getting us sued, you can share anything like that or whatever else is on your mind.
Yeah, well, there was a certain lack of knowledge back in the, I'd say, 70s and 80s. It started to come to the forefront in the 90s with some artists started figuring out that, the thing of the what do you call it? These people who sang and played on all these hit records that only would get their session money, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then they walk away. Now, these people, everybody who played on those things, as long as you went through the union and you signed your name to the sessions and paid your dues, then later on down the road, I found out the hard way because we did not sign off. And one of the songs that myself and 2 of my dear friends, Mark and Mick, it was in a massive movie, and this song that we sang on was played like 3 times in the movie. I heard something like 2 or 3 times.
No.
And it would have meant a good chunk of money for us poor schmucks if we did it properly, but we didn't. And so now, like, everyone who that's tuned into the business, a lot of musicians are way more business oriented than they used to be. They used to always just trust the manager, and we know where that goes with some artists, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the Stings of the world who got robbed blind. Queen, Billy Joel, and
Little Richard.
Yeah.
Bo Diddley.
But, so a lot of these people now are just basically saying, they're training themselves to be more tuned into the business world, because it's not just music; it is a business. So, But without getting too. I mean, it's boring. If you're a creative mind, you don't want to be sitting there with a calculator after every show.
Management to do.
Well, that's part of what the whole Starwire project is about, and you'll hear more about that in a few minutes. But let's move from country to rock, because I know you kind of went and and you started doing the rock thing, and you and I have done some shows together, and you're very good at sort of switching hats. And what was kind of your catalyst for getting into the whole rock and roll thing, and name some of the bands that you sort of participated and played on stage? I mean, you've played with so many great acts, whether it was with Backman, or whether it was with your other band, Cease and Desist. You've played with like some of the greats, some of the goats out there. What was it like to be on the same stage with some of these guys?
Well, anytime there's somebody that you admired growing up, that's usually when you make your heroes, when you're in your teens, or you know what I mean? Not many people get heroes when they hit 50. But
maybe they're doctors.
Yeah.
Well, not now, but
well, one
personal
in particular, when we were on a bill with for Prince Harry for the Invictus Games.
Yeah.
It was Kelly Clarkson, Bryan Adams, Springsteen, and then us when it was Backlund and Turner. And so we went on last, and as Prince Harry's introducing us, we're backstage. Springsteen walks up to me and shakes my hand, and says, "Have a good show." Like,
really?
Wow,
that's cool.
I haven't washed my hand yet. But I mean, there's countless times where we get to just meet these people where you almost don't know what to say. Like with one show in England, watching the singer from Def Leppard, what's his name again? Joe Elliott.
Joe Elliott, yeah.
And I was standing on stage, the side of the stage, because we're on right after him, waiting to go on, watching Joe Elliott from the side. And I just look beside me, it's Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
And he's standing there. He's good friends with Joe Elliott, as it turns out. He's standing there just smiling away with his arms crossed.
Wow.
And I looked at him, and I went basically like this.
You might.
Yeah. Hey, remember when you were in Zeppelin? What do you say?
I remember when you.
Yeah. So I mean, and then there's other people who are just are just they take your breath away because they're just so they're bigger than life,
For sure.
And generally, I'd say 99% of the ones that I've met, and there's been lots, have been really super nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Most.
Now, listen, you also had quite a career later in life with some of your Rod Stewart shows. You're pretty much an expert on Rod.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us about that goat?
Yeah, I got talked into it years ago. Like, you should try it. You should, do a tribute acts. And so occasionally, we haven't done much of anything the last 2 years, have we?
Yeah.
Well, for the folks in the chat that don't really know what we're talking about, Brent has a voice that he, close your eyes and it sounds like Rod Stewart, or it is Rod Stewart, and it's a phenomenal interpretation.
Right.
So apart from sort of that part of it, you've had to do a lot of research into the life of Rod and stuff like that. What can you tell us about him, his music, and the way that he's kind of sustained this incredibly long career?
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, the first time I heard him, I think I was in grade 8.
Yeah.
And he's still going, and he's still good. He's still really good. And he's got to be late 70s now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's basically the calling card for what a real rock and roll star is. He's like, all the boys want to hang out with him, and all the girls want to be with him. Like David Lee Roth was like that. Robert Plant. It's like Mick Jagger. Like, those are the people. They're just genuinely fun people.
Oh, definitely.
And they take they're very fun, but they take what they're doing dead serious. And they just, but they don't go out there and look like they're stressed out. They go out and they just have so much fun, and they suck the crowd into that realm where you can't help but have fun watching these guys because they're having so much fun. Yeah. And there's been, I mean, not every time I've done one of those tribute shows where it's like that, but a lot of them are like where we just go up there and we're just just being kind of goofy and almost making fun of myself. And the audience just sort of buys into it and they just start having fun. It's because it's goofy, it's fun, and it's fun music. Rod Stewart's music it's not like prog rock, it's just fun.
It's fun, and it's a soundtrack to our lives. So many of those songs that we grew up with over the years, they bring back this flood of memories. And the thing about a guy like Rod Stewart, he's such a consummate performer, because he really relates to the crowd, and you wouldn't know anything that's going on in his personal life, because when he hits the stage, he's just this very magnetic performer. And you have a lot of those qualities too. You're very much like that. When you get on the stage, it's like you become this persona. And whether it's in that show or some of your other shows, that's a gift that you inherently have. So,
thank you. But yeah, like you gotta have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
At one time you were talking about it being the like a snapshot of your life, basically. Where were you when you first heard Maggie May or American Woman or whatever? You remember those times? Like I remember in the back seat of my parents' car going, "Wow, listen to that guitar! I've never heard it. Oh, I didn't know what it was." My dad said, "I think it's a guitar." Because I've never heard a gutter sound like that in American Woman.
Is that a violin?
Like, Randy was an innovator for sure. But I mean, every time we do that Rod Stewart tribute, like of course the big hit at the end is Maggie May. Everyone yells Maggie May. But now we did this big outdoor show in the interior, and it was a pretty young crowd. It was for like a ball tournament or something. I remember all these young people right up front. I thought, oh, they're not going to like this. They're not going to know any of these songs. They knew everyone.
No.
And this one kid, he was like maybe 18, 19. He was yelling and yelling. Finally, I said, "Hank, I can't." And I leaned down and said, "What are you saying?" He goes, "Young Turks, do Young Turks."
Wow.
That was out way before he was born. Like, but and then if you go to see Rod Stewart, his audience is between, like there's little kids and there's people in their 80s. Like it just covers all these different, all these different genres of age. Yeah.
We just had somebody jumping on. Hello, good evening, and greetings from Colombia.
Colombia, Brent.
Wow.
Now, I got a question or two, if I may. Am I good to go, Call?
Sure, if you want.
Okay, quick question for Brent. I showed this to Mark LaFrance. You're on this. This was from 2010. I looked and I said, holy my goodness, that was like 12 years ago you did this.
I know.
He knew about the DVD. He knew about the CD. He didn't.
I can't see the album. What? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Did you know about this?
The vinyl.
The vinyl?
Yeah.
You knew about it?
I've got that's the platinum thing for it there.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Now, today from Germany, I always feature something. It was just so unreal that you're on the show. I told Colin something's coming. It just happened to be this. This is ultra rare. Okay, Garnet, you can blow that up. Garnet, blow that up.
Wow. What year is that from?
That's from Germany, and it's on a special products Fontana. Pop Lions puts You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, Bachman Turner Overdrive with Robbie, the logos, everything. I waited.
Wow.
I ordered.
Is that a single?
No, it's an album.
Or it's a full album. Okay.
Yeah, it's got You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, Not Fragile, Roll On, Looking Out for Number One Business, Take It Like a Man, Easy Groove, Four Wheel Drive, Blue Collar, and Down and Out Man. Printed in West Germany. So I waited.
Pretty rare. That's pretty rare, isn't it?
Oh, phenomenal. The guy said he had never seen it. He collects BTO, and I pretty well bought his whole collection in the last couple of years. I pretty well cleaned them out. But every so often he teases me with, I had this one, I had that one. I'm just in the process now of negotiating a deal out of Japan with a guy for Bachman Turner Overdrive Japan Tour promo, the promo one. there's a regular and or the promo. I want the promo. They're even rarer. So I'm just in the process of doing that one. But I've got a quite extensive BTO in that. Colin, we featured it on another show, but we got to get Garnet on and everything. But yeah, you definitely. I know one thing. When I saw you, and you came out and did the BTO stuff with us with Colin in Grand Forks, and you did your cease and desist.
Oh, right, we did that too.
Yeah,
right.
That was fun.
Amazing. He was amazing. And then the cease and desist stuff going way back. And then
33 years.
Yeah, and all of that stuff. Now, here's one that I couldn't remember that you may remember. I got a pretty good recall, and I wouldn't want to say it that yes, and then you say bullshit. So here's the thing. Do you ever remember in cease and desist, or were you in cease and desist at the time when we did Milner Downs with you guys performing as the Beatles?
Yeah, was Chris Bradley involved in that?
Yeah, Chris Bradley was the guy who put it on. Branson was on. You guys were on, and I got the John Lennon's car from the museum in Cloverdale and put
you know what?
And
no,
you got to stop
you there. I got to stop you there because I don't think I was involved. I think I was in cease and desist, but that version of that Beatles band was, I think, Skip Prest.
That could be
guitar.
Because there was a guy, and I videoed it. I got the Beatles car. I got the Lennon mobile, and I took it. I had the guy bring it from Cloverdale to Chris Bradley to the Milner Downs, picked up the guys in the dressing room, and drove them from the dressing room side of the stage in that car.
I remember that. I was there. I watched it, but I think that was Skip on guitar. I believe.
Oh yeah. No, there was.
I remember seeing that car at Expo '86.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely it was all over.
But at that same show, though, like we said with Larry Branson, Colin, you were playing piano for that show, weren't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
Colin, you were playing keyboard. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, the funniest.
I forget which hats I wear sometimes.
There was a guy, and it might have been Skip, and it had to be Skip because I knew everybody else. And while I was driving, this guy leaned over through the porthole part of the Lennon car, and he looked straight at me and at the camera, and he rolled his eyeballs, which I had never seen in my life. His eyeballs turned, and I thought there's something wrong. I'm hallucinating or whatever. And I said, do that again. And he actually did it, and I videoed it. I have it. And I've never seen a guy that could rotate his eyeballs. He just went like that, and I swear to God, they just like rolled around in his head.
But that on TikTok, you'll go viral.
Oh, and something else just dawned on me.
Yes.
And I don't believe it was Mark LaFrance on drums for that show either. Who do you think that was? Colin, any guesses?
Who do I think it was?
Rocket Norton.
It was Rocket Norton.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it Rocket Norton?
Yeah.
Good guess, Colin.
Really?
Oh, thank you very much.
Well,
Hey, listen, buenas noches to Patricio, and a few more people have joined the chat. Maria, good to see you. Philip says to Brent, can you play the guitar for us? Nothing like
they
putting
wanted
a guy in the spot, but
well,
okay. I can play a little bit. I can't play that one. You know the story.
no, you can't.
The only one who's ever played that guitar is Brian May, so no one else is allowed to play it.
That's right. That is the NFT of choice right there, that guitar. And,
Stairway to Heaven, please.
It's banned in every music store, you know that, eh?
It's banned. Nobody, don't play that.
Well, if I knew I was going to play, I would have tuned this thing.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, we're going to bring Garnet on here in a sec. We're at 1:45.
Okay, for Colin.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We need a little Brian Setzer, though. That would be cool with
that would be
guitar.
rockabilly. Come on, Brent, rockabilly.
Oh,
Do it. You can do it.
hang on a second here.
Come on, my friend.
All right.
Rockabilly.
Only if Colin sings along with me.
Okay, Colin, sing.
All right, where's my
Hey,
echo?
folks. First time ever. Duo on Startalk. You heard it here first.
It's too out of tune. I don't want to waste your time there.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll be back with Startalk. We're going to do some music versions of Startalk when we get the sound dialed in. And we had Russ Marsland and Raven on, and we've had quite a few musicians on.
Oh yeah,
and
you're
we're going to sort of tee up the broadcast to start playing some high quality audio, maybe using
we'll get some
Session
audio.
Wire or something else. So we're going to be looking forward to getting some quick musical things like live from Daryl's house. Only it'll be Startalk live with Colin and Marty, and boom, we'll have some music. Hey, Val Gal's with us. She says that was incredible, Brent. So you've got some fans. So if people want to know a little bit about you and your music and where some of your shows are, where can people find you?
Well, the shows live are pretty few and far between with this COVID world, but
true. But
there are some shows coming up with Randy Backman coming up. Apparently, yeah, Facebook. I go under Brent Howard Knudsen, and I could turn you on to some YouTube channels of some of the videos I did with for CMT and the country singles and stuff. And
search for Brent Howard on YouTube.
No, Brent Howard Knudsen. Brent Howard Knudsen. Yeah.
We'll get Garnet to
Knudsen, right?
We'll get Garnet to put the link in the chat after the show. And speaking of Garnet, we better give him a few minutes here because let's bring our sponsor on. He's works with us at Starwire.
There's something on my face again.
Yeah.
You got to turn off.
Oh, this is that's bracket.
Johnny the cameraman, you got to take that off, Johnny.
Johnny the cameraman.
That's Bob Bunting's going to be watching this going, I told that guy to take that off his camera. You just have to go to the setting and turn it off.
Move your chair to the left. There it is. It's gone.
It's gone. Oh, no, it's still there.
There you are. Stay there.
We got some interns here at the studio, and they're just learning, but
we're a little to the left. A little to the left. Stay right there. It's gone.
Well, we could put your face right in the brackets. And
hey, Brent. Brent. I think that's a pretty incredible story about you and that guitar. I always, when I listened to Brian May's story, I always found it amazing that the only guitar he ever played for his entire career was the one he built when he was like a teenager or whatever, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It's exactly like this one here.
Yeah, show it to him.
It's exactly like this. Him and his dad built it because the guitars that were available when he first started playing, he found them too limited. Like they only, like a Gibson Les Paul, there's like a 3-way switch for these pickups, but there's 2 pickups, 3-way switch. So basically you choose from 3 sounds, and like a Stratocaster or a Telecaster. Well, there's a 5-way switch, a Telecaster 3-way. But anyway, when I met Brian for this photo shoot and had dinner with him, I was holding it, and I said, I can't wait to. He says, you're gonna love this guitar, and I said, yeah, if I can ever figure out all this. 6 switches, and they all work together. So there's like infinite ways to make it sound. And I said, it's going to be real tough. And he goes, oh, no. He goes, for like, say, Bohemian Rhapsody, he goes, there you go. That's Bohemian Rhapsody. And there's his signature, Brian May, and the year, and which he never signs the back. And the tech who handed it to him, he played it. He goes, this is a nice one. Who owns it? And he says, Brent Knudsen. He goes, I had dinner with him in Winnipeg. So he flips over and signs, to Brent, rock on with love, Brian. This is pretty, and he said he's never done that before.
Wow.
So no one's allowed to play it.
Yeah.
Don't even look at it.
Don't even look at it.
I did want to ask you some questions as to, what you would trade, what kind of value you would put on, if someone gave you, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, would you take that for that meeting with Brian May?
Only if Brian said, if come on over to England, I'll sign another one for you. I say, sure. 100,000 it is.
So
In the meantime, it's not for sale. No.
yeah, I mean, actually, you know, there's a couple things, ultra rare items Marty has. And now that I've seen your guitar, one of the things we're wanting to do is create a VR museum where we scan the instrument with a LiDAR scanner, and it creates a 3D version of it. And in a VR space, people can sort of hold it almost like they're holding the one you have. But I guess it's the next best thing to actually handling something as rare as that. It actually reminds me of a show they had with Jimmy, where a guy got to play Jimi Hendrix's guitar for the first time. And it had been held like someone preserved, like did not touch it. So the last guy to play it was Jimi Hendrix. And they invited this guy to play it. And yeah, pretty much he, you know, passed out, you know. Like incredible experiences to be connected with that kind of legend. And that leads us into, you know, a bit of this new technology that is kind of making the news these days, called NFTs. And what are
Try
NFTs?
explaining that to your mother.
You know, and, you know, there may not be a perfectly good explanation yet because we're still discovering new uses for this technology, but it's definitely been connected to the arts and music. And I'm just going to share a little list here. If we got time, we'll probably run out of time, but
We'll keep going.
that's okay. So to start off with, here's the goats for anyone tuning in to the Startalk show for the first time. Now you say, what are the goats? These are just, you know, these are little cartoon characters. Well, the goats are, they're fictional characters, but they represent a community that we are building. And they're not just pictures, but these are digital certificates that our community members will own. And I just wanted to read off a couple of these were NFT statistics 2022. So the most expensive NFT was sold for $532 million.
What?
The real most expensive NFT sold for nearly 92 million. I don't know what that means. The real. Beeple's first physical work sold for nearly 30 million. NFT trading volume added up to nearly 11 billion in Q3 of 2021. People from China, Singapore are the most interested in NFTs. Interesting. The most expensive NFT video sold for almost 7 million. The most expensive NFT meme sold for 4 million.
Where does this data come from anyway?
The majority of NFTs sell for less than $200. Each day, thousands of NFT sales are made. NFT sales amount to millions per week. We were close to 40,000 unique buyers in March of 2021. Like 40,000 people in March exploded into the numbers that you're seeing there. So, I mean, put that into perspective, 40,000 people. So think about, you know, we're looking to grow our community of goats to maybe 5,000. You know, think about, you know, the Session Wire community. How big is that? You know, maybe close to that 40,000 number right there. The NFT market grew almost tenfold in 2 years. NFT sales amounted to 2.4 billion in the first 6 months of 2021. OpenSea, this is the marketplace, increased by 800%. NBA's Top Shots already made 700 million.
Yeah, that was a big one.
NFT gaming, NFTs for gaming decline. Oh, that's interesting. Kings of Leon released an album.
I remember.
Taco Bell released 25 NFTs.
See?
More than a third of esport fans are interested in NFTs. Whoa, that's kind of a good one. Hey,
So it would be safe to say, Garnet, that the NFT market is growing.
it's growing.
We believe you.
And let me, I'll share another kind of.
People are going hashtag free the goats and
Free the
free.
goat.
So we are about to sell our own NFTs, and I want to tell you a little bit about this particular community. So these goats. Now here's a little sample of the artwork, right? And it says, "We are goats, motivated and focused." Well, why do these goats need to be motivated and focused? Part of the kind of community that we are gathering is we want to attract artists, musicians, filmmakers, but also people who realize that there's a problem. And we heard Brent talk about, some of the problems in the music space, people not getting paid. We know there's a better way, and this technology, NFTs are part of what are called Web 3.0, and there's solutions coming. We can't say for exactly we know all the solutions yet, but part of the reason of the goats is we want to gather individuals who have the same vision of us, somewhat of a think tank. For the past 2 years, we've been working on our StarWire project. We're software developers as well. We're working on, smart contracts to solve specific problems. But over the last year, while we were doing that, we connected with an organization, the Social Bees University, and they really mentored us and taught us how to create our own token and how to bring value around that, how to bring liquidity. And, we thought first we were just funding our own project. But what we realize now, we have a treasure store. You could call it when you go to war, you've got this war chest, right, of funds. Yeah. And we realize we want to gather other brilliant projects, other brilliant minds into the GOAT think tank. We're calling all goats and to come. We've got a $12 million fund that we are gonna over the coming years. We're gonna take our goats, put our best minds together, and release some of the most amazing Web 3.0 projects, technology, music, movies that this planet has ever seen. It's not going to be limited to North America. We're going to go to the nations. We see some of our Central American friends on these calls during the week. We've seen the gentleman from Saudi Arabia come on. I think there's even an hour totally in Arabic just talking around this topic of Web3.
Garnet, you've mentioned the goats, and all of a sudden the chat just lit up, and people are going they're going hashtag free the goats. And I'd like to just welcome them all. They're kind of flooding in here. Joseph, Russell, hey Richie, good to see you. Donna Hopkins is here. Santis brothers and Joseph, Philip, Troy.
Santizi.
Santizi brothers.
Hey, and while we're here, we do have to mention there's an event coming up in March. No, yes, February 22nd, 23rd. We should have Josh come up to actually pitch this himself. We have an NFT conference coming up in Phoenix. It's going to be crazy. All these NFT crazy people are going to be there. God willing, Colin and I are going to make it there. Can we make it through? Are the borders jammed by truckers, or will we make it through? We'll have to see.
We'll make it.
We will make it. But this is going to be an incredible event. There's going to be actually a special guest showing up is none other than hip hop artist. I think Marty and him hang out all the time. None other than the Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Marty, what's Snoop like?
Snoop's okay. He's a cool guy. years ago we hung out a little bit, but he's going to be there, and you guys are going to have an opportunity to stretch your stuff. I think Colin might even do some performing there. I heard, rumor has it.
We'll see. I'll be coming from via
We'll see.
Mexico, so we got to get some organization around that.
Well, you got to.
Troy's saying let's mint the goats, and
Oh yeah. Hey, it's 8:00. Let's do a little draw here.
Are you gonna whitelist them? Are you giving?
Yeah.
Is it
So let's give away a whitelist tonight.
Yeah.
See who's gonna be lucky.
we need to do a hashtag on Brent. Let's do a hashtag.
Rod?
No, we'll do a hashtag Brent Howard. How's
Hey, I
that?
like it.
Well,
Hashtag Brent Howard.
Or should we do Brent the Goat? I like
Brent-
that.
yeah.
Brent the Goat playing Brian May's guitar.
The goat.
Brent the
That'll
Goat.
sell out.
Goat.
That goat will sell out.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we'll do. Brent the Goat.
I like it.
And
Brent-
if you want to do
Brent-
Brent Howard too, that's cool. But also put in Brent the Goat.
Brent the Goat.
Yeah,
It's been fun
don't
having
do
you on the show,
Howard.
Brent.
Do Brent the
Really?
goat. If you
Oh,
want
it's
it.
been a lot of fun.
Lots of
Yeah,
fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of fun stuff going on out there in NFT and crypto world. But I think
Yeah.
what we're doing here is we're bringing the entertainment world and figuring out ways that these cool solutions can work for musicians and artists around the world. It's our passion to kind of link up these. And when I get on some with the bees, so shout out to the bees out there and their Twitter spaces they've been having at night, just talking to some of the most talented, knowledgeable, technical engineer type people. And they have a hunger to learn more about music. And music is a sort of an emotional tool. And I think if we can marry some of the tech to help the musicians to, like you said, Brent, they have trouble with some of the business stuff. And I know we have YouTube now, we have books, we have courses, all kinds of things. If we can make it easy for them to put their intellectual property into their digital assets, and then so when their music ends up in a movie like yours, Star Wars motto or tagline is when money moves, you get paid. So
Right.
no money moves until you get paid because it's your stuff. And that's kind of the big goal. So
Yeah,
hashtag Brent the Goat, all you guys.
it's about time there was something like that, like for a musician to just sort of let somebody else actually really look after things and you can trust them. you know?
All right, let's see this.
Do it, Garnet.
We got
We're-
18.
We're 3 minutes over, but hey,
That's
who's
okay.
counting?
Worth it.
Tim Judge.
Oh yeah.
Yo, the
Hey,
judge.
come
We
to-
need some winter music next time, Garnet. We need to put some of that Tony Robbins,
Oh, yeah.
raw music in the background. Congratulations, Tim. You were one of the first ones to join the chat tonight too. So you deserve
Good on you,
that.
Timmy.
And it's great. So do you guys have any last questions for Brent while he's on with us? I know we're a couple minutes over time, but
That's fine.
Bruce is saying, congrats, Tim. Who else is with us? Oh, there's Russell Crowe, my crypto adventures. Having fun.
Everybody.
All right, everybody's good. No questions. People are saying it pays to be on Startalk. Yeah, it does. So we're going to see you back here 7:00 next Tuesday, Pacific time, right here live with Colin and Marty.
Yeah.
And always guaranteed to have a good special guest on. And so Brent, thanks for making the night special tonight.
Oh.
Val says,
Thank you, guys.
Brent, thank you for the beautiful music.
Mhm.
Maria says congratulations.
Hey.
And yeah, we're good to go. Thanks, Garnet. And Martino, always good to see some of your new finds.
Always.
And where's that cash of mine?
Well, you gotta.
You sold some of my stuff. You're waving my cash.
I got a motto: as long as I owe you money, you'll never be broke.
There you go. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.